What's up, guys? We finally made it. We had some technical difficulties. Um, Stuff happens. It is what it is, but we're finally doing it. I've got a guest on tonight on My Political Mind. Hope you enjoy the show. And let's just get to it. Let's hit that intro. Let's go. I'm happy to be doing this for the first time. It's awesome. That's the intro. Pretty cool. It's all right. Let's dial it down. Dial it down, producer. Oh, wait, that's pre-recorded. All right. So, anyway, I have a guest on tonight, Mr. Jefferson Thomas, and we're going to talk some politics. Jefferson. Let's see here. There we go. Welcome to the show, man.
Oh, how's it going? How's it going?
Oh, it's
I'm
going,
looking
man.
as gruff as possible.
I guess you gotta, you kind of gotta have all that when you're up north, I guess, right?
Oh yeah. We're in the far reaches of the Arctic in Pennsylvania.
I don't know how cold it is up there, but it's pretty cold down here. I mean, probably nowhere near up there, but I did notice that there was some lag issues.
We had a big storm, but it was the only snowstorm.
Nice. I noticed that there's a little bit of a lag. There wasn't before I started the stream, but I guess that's gonna happen. So let's just get right into it. So first thing I wanted to, I guess this is gonna be kind of an interview intro, but I just want to know what is your I just want to know what is your idea of freedom.
Oh, what a question!
I
Right?
know, right?
I guess the way I could summarize that without going too far in depth, right? I mean, it's a big question. Um, Personally, I view freedom as something that isn't necessarily always given by a government, obviously. Like I'm a constitutionalist in a lot of ways, but I don't believe my personal freedom is rooted in any physical document as much as I know what I, as a free man, should be able to do in a free society. So anything that infringes on that, I'm normally against. In terms of like economic freedom wise, I would qualify myself as like an Austrian economics kind of guy. I believe in self-determination over state involvement, that type of stuff.
Right. So, what do you think is the role of the government then?
Well, I mean, to use another word, because we had talked a little bit before, but I'm a minarchist in many ways. I believe that society does demand some sort of structure, some sort of government, and a lot of my, more anarcho, friends, anarchist types would argue that humans naturally create this order or this system
Right.
without any sort of government whatsoever. But I'm more on the line of maximize individual freedoms or rights or the ability for individuals to do what they want and trade and barter, all this other stuff, as long as you're not hurting anyone, while minimizing the role of a federal government or state, local government.
Right. So, like regulations, how do you feel about them? Like, to what extent? How
Well,
far?
the how far is too far? Another very broad question.
Yeah.
And depending on the category, I mean, I try to stick with principle, but I'm also pragmatic. So, like, I mean, the Constitution, like, strictly says federal government is for commerce clauses between states, figuring out trade disputes and
Right.
defense of a national border slash the nation itself. So, from a more pragmatic approach, obviously, individual people and individual states want something, therefore they elect these representatives to go fight for these laws or whatever they want to pass. And I think they have every right to do so, but I might not agree with, what the end result of that legislation is. Because sometimes, and I feel like we're seeing this a lot more in modern times, that it infringes on the Bill of Rights.
Oh, yeah. Well, man, my internet is sucking butt right now. I'm dropping frames like crazy.
Oh, no.
I don't know why. It's probably usually for some reason, like, it takes a few minutes on a live stream. So I think that's why I see a lot of YouTubers when they go live, they'll like go live, but they'll just have their logo up, and it'll be like 5, 10, 15 minutes before they even get in.
Presses or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So, you live, you learn. So we'll just have to do our best.
All right. Hey, it's the first time. First time.
So. It's the first time. So, all right. I'm trying to. All right. So, Joe Biden. Love him or hate him?
That one is not as big of a question as the other ones. I despise Joe Biden, but for the main reason, he might be a cool guy, but I absolutely detest lifetime politicians. I hate careerists, and I hate people that make a living off of my taxpayer dollars while infringing, like we were talking about, on the liberties of the individual. And I feel like Joe Biden's a classic example of a corporate crony or a corporate bureaucrat, which we might agree on.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, his administration is brand new. So my prediction is that we're going to see a lot of the same instead of anything that's progressive or anything that's like helping the individual regain some of that liberty.
So circling back, so you said you're like a minarchist. So how would we get to that point, or is it just like way past that point? Like we could never get to that.
Well, I meme about being so cynical, and I think we've mentioned this too before, but you can't be an absolute cynic and then still I don't know. You got to have some optimism. So I'm optimistic that we can basically rein the federal government in to the point where state governments can take over a lot of these responsibilities that past administrations have just gifted the federal government, or Congress in the last that's undoable. It just takes the right people in the right places, and that's how I view that.
So would you say you would back the Libertarian Party?
It's tough because technically, yeah, I mean, I'm registered Libertarian Party. I think the Libertarian Party in a lot of ways has become sort of a meme, and you know what, I love memes and referencing the flag in the back. I love the power of laughter. I love that type of thing. Dogecoin, man, that's the future. But I'm not a financial advisor, so don't listen to anything I say.
I'm not a financial advisor. Just have to put that out there. Don't take anything I say seriously. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. I just do this as a hobby. XRP.
And I don't want you to get any emails from Susan being like, you gave people Dogecoin advice. I think the LP has a lot going for it, at least recently. But you're never going to reach that threshold. And I mean, I would argue that it's that 5% voting threshold that exists to even reach the debate stage. They're never going to make that, especially because systems in place like the Republican and Democratic parties have.
Well, see, I would say
against that.
I would say that the Libertarian Party has actually done a pretty good job of infiltrating the Republican Party over the last couple decades. They've been pushing, and I think they're starting to get a lot more people in there. So, this is where. So I've had I've gone back and forth. I'm definitely libertarian, for sure. My thing is, I go back and forth between libertarian left and libertarian right, because I honestly, I don't try to pretend I have all the answers. I mean, I act like I do. I'm cynical in that way, but
Well, as everyone does,
right.
you
In
know?
my own mind, I'm like, this sounds good on this side and this sounds good on this side, but obviously those two are never, they're completely disconnected from one another. I mean, I'm all for individual rights. I think that I've heard a good argument recently, collectivism, where except the collectivism is the owners and the workers, like the workers are collectives and they conform to the owner class to do the bidding of the owner class. So you're not really that much of an individual, you're just a wage slave or whatever. So I mean,
like the anti-capitalist argument.
Yeah, the
wage slavery and all
anti-capitalist
that stuff.
argument. Yeah, I mean that's just I flirt with things like that, and and I like the minimum wage.
Well, dude, being open to ideas. I mean, this. I'm sorry. This was like this is the example of that, like having the discussion. But
Right.
I see the Overton window. Like we're both in the same ballpark right now
Right.
because you're still getting shifted out for having those individual beliefs,
Mhm.
like beliefs in individual rights, rather than following suit with, like, I guess, mainstream, more
Dude,
radical progressiveness.
I'm a
But
metalhead.
the Overton window shifted, so now we're in the same group. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Mhm. I'm a metalhead, man. Like
down and left, down and right.
right. My whole life, I mean, I've always been, I was always like the freak in school, in high school and whatnot, and I was going to metal shows, and I've always been like
Oh yeah,
anti-conformist.
ditto.
So yeah, right. So I've always been anti-conformist. So I
right.
just
Did you have chain wallets? I had so many chain wallets. And
I
they
had
all
a-
got confiscated by the principal's office.
chain wallets and Jinkos and all that good stuff. Long hair. I had freaking long.
Those were
hair.
the days, though, man.
Those were the days. Well, what happened? We got old, I guess. So any
Well, I mean, look at, even like, speaking of metal, I mean, look at Rammstein. Rammstein is like now like getting shit on by all these, I don't want to say leftist publications. I just think they're crap journalists. They're getting crapped on for posting a metal video, and it's like, dude, Rammstein's been the same the whole time. What changed in you?
like, yeah. What do you
I don't see how Rammstein's any different.
What exactly are you referencing?
Oh, they released a video. I think it was the Deutschland video. It came out maybe, I want to say, like, it was before Corona. So but the video featured like
let's watch that
fascistic themes or something like that.
Yeah. Let's watch that. Let's watch that talk. YouTube is yeah. Say like
sorry.
You got to say like the health crisis.
The coof.
the kofefe.
The coof. Yeah, why don't we just call it the kofefe?
The kofefe.
But yeah, they released this video, and like Gizmodo, I don't remember if it was Gizmodo, so I'm not gonna like call them out, but it was someone like that, or like some weird offshoot website was like, oh, it's promoting these themes, and I'm like, Rammstein's always been a parody of all of that.
Oh yeah.
So if you haven't like listened to them or known who they were for so long, like, I can understand how you'll freak out, but like your intern writing this article doesn't understand that.
Right. We all live in America. Come on now.
Oh yeah, right? See?
Dude.
That was great. I love that song, man.
Oh, I love it. Wunderbar. I'm still dropping frames like crazy.
Yeah, very.
I'm watching the video. I'm watching the stream on my phone just so I can see how it's going. Let's listen to the audio. I'm gonna listen to the song. Okay, as long as the audio is good, I don't really care if it's a little laggy. The audio seems to still be picking up, so that's good.
Cool.
Maybe I can get some better internet one of these days. All right. So,
You're on that mountain time, right? You got to get out of those mountains. Get some Elon Musk shoot an internet satellite up there or something.
Elon Musk tweet, give David internet. David, give David internet.
Give David.
David. Speaking of Rammstein, David. So, I mean, is there anything that you have on your mind that you want to get off your chest? Anything lately that you've seen that?
I mean, where to start with lately? Yeah, I mean, we're seeing from my view at least, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I think we're seeing the curtain being pulled back, man. Like this whole Wall Street bet situation, this entire like rally the wagons for the filthy rich. Like I've been told for 2 years or whatever that there can't be unification amongst two political ideologies, and I'm like, really? I mean, this is like a class thing. These people want you to remain poor and don't allow you the same playing field as they're playing on. So I mean, and now it's like these congressmen and people like this, they're like crapping all over Wall Street bets. And I'm like, dude, we're on the same team. You shouldn't be a representative of the elite. Like,
right now, while I
at least some solace in unity.
Yes, while I do understand that, and I love the unity that there was for that week, I feel like people, because I've listened to other YouTubers today, and I feel like, how do I put this? I love the unity, but I feel like people got duped into a pump and dump Ponzi scheme by Wall Street bets. And it's just like, because there's people, so I don't know if you know this, but they talk about manipulating the market, all that stuff. The people, the big the CEOs come on CNBC and they're like, they just start talking whatever.
The hedge fund managers, all
right,
those people.
And so what disturbs me is that I found out that Wall Street Bets was deleting posts of people saying, man, I've lost this much money, and anything negative towards the movement, they were deleting the post, which I think is just like, I think that's kind of messed up. I think, people.
I would agree there. I mean, it shouldn't. If it's a movement, you shouldn't be removing voices from it.
No.
But a lot of people on Wall Street Bets think they're shills. Like those are in their mind, at least they're really like dedicated to this cause. They'll be like, that's just a corporate shill that infiltrated, and it's just like anything else.
True. I mean, I don't know, but and when you go and you look at like Robinhood's, speaking of, when you look at Robinhood's terms of TOS, whatever their agreements that you sign up for, they say that that's why nobody's going to win a class action lawsuit against them, not because that they didn't, just because of the the language, the contract that you signed up for says that they have the ability in an extreme volatile market to stop trading, and which people don't realize. They still they're like, oh, they allowed me to sell my stock, but what if they just halted trading altogether? You couldn't buy or sell. Like, how many people would have been mad that they couldn't even buy? So it's just like,
well, and we live in an age where TOS is the thing that everyone just clicks around, right? So right. I see what their angle is on this, but I mean, I don't even know.
And they did, and they just
advertising, maybe something like that,
right? But the thing is, they like, it happens. They ran out of capital, so they had to go to like clearinghouses and just start just like borrowing, because they're just like, all right, we gotta halt buying right now because we don't have the capital to just put into this right now. So, and it's just like, I mean, I get it from like their point of view. I get it. I understand the narrative, and that's the thing that people are talking about, like getting caught in a narrative like this little man versus the rich and all that stuff. Like, that's perfectly fine, right. But you've got to understand like the market itself and what you're getting yourself into. And honestly, anybody that's an
Well, and
actual day
going
trader,
back to pulling that. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Continue.
anybody
I
that's
didn't hear
like
the
an
last part.
actual anybody that's an actual day trader, that most of them they
Mhm.
don't use Robinhood. They use like
Mm.
apps that are they're on desktops. You know, they're actually they're in Wall
Oh yeah.
Street. They the people that make a living doing it,
Well,
they
and some
know
of
it
these
in and out.
people, this is exactly. But I mean, I guess it goes down to like, what is more palpable to people? Do they really like want to see the TOS terms of service stuff, or do they want to hear like one of those stories? They want to
R-
hear this guy beating like David and Goliath. Like we
But
were
here's the
able to
funny
stick it to
thing.
these people, even
But
though the
here,
system was rigged.
right. But here's the funny thing is that people don't realize that like 90%, if not 99% of the people that were buying, like the amount of volume that there were hedge funds buying GameStop so that they could make money. 90% of the buys
Oh yeah,
were
well that's the backdoor stuff, man.
other
That
hedge funds. They weren't shorting the stock; they were buying in it
yeah.
with everybody else, and let it go up. And then guess what? They start selling, and guess where GME is right now? It's at last I heard it was at like $62. Like, I mean,
Yep.
we can
That
think
might have been
we
just
can
today too. I haven't looked today.
yeah, we can think we have some kind of power, but it's gonna take a lot more than a subreddit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look at the power that has. You know what I mean? Like, and that's I guess in my opinion, there's like obviously there's the terms of service stuff. There's like how the system functions, like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that people don't understand and just decided to go buy a stock.
Right.
Like, yeah, obviously, I'm not a huge stocks guy, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I'll buy 2 shares of AMC, or I'll do, just for shits and giggles.
But there's
But
also
without even like,
sorry, go
what
ahead.
was that? But yeah, I'm like, whatever, I'll buy this because I kind of want to like gotta be a part of it. Or Dogecoin. It's
Yeah.
it's like a meme to me, and watching
Mm-hmm.
these people sort of like trembling was
Mm-hmm.
fun. And that's the thing. I mean, it was more fun to be on that side of it than
Yeah,
the other
yeah, yeah.
side, I'm
There
sure.
is that. Yeah, there is that. I like seeing the CEOs of the hedge fund managers freaking out. Like
Oh yeah. Oh
these
yeah.
people have no idea what
This
they're
shouldn't be
doing.
allowed.
Yeah, you're right. They don't have
Regulate
any idea.
now.
You're right. They have no idea what they're doing, but it's great. I love watching you freak out.
The
Like,
irrationality. Exactly. Exactly.
but a lot
It's
of
just
people
like
don't
anything.
realize that, like, the guy that did that, started this whole thing probably bought a crap ton of shares, and then he started this little thing so he could do a little pump and dump. And then like he's like,
Mhm.
Start buying the stock. Start buying the stock. By the way, I have 1,000,000 shares. Start buying the stock. Start buying the stock. And then everybody starts.
Self-interest and greed, like everyone has those two things.
Oh
So
yeah,
if that was the case, whatever. But I mean, this became like a clarion call for anyone who felt a little disenfranchised. And again,
yeah,
like a lot of the posts, like the top posts on that subreddit were like, hey, look, don't waste your money if you're not like able to waste that. If
yeah.
that's your like everything you have, obviously we're not
Oh,
supporting
dude,
that.
there were so many
But
people like commenting like, I put a lien on my house.
yeah.
Or it's just
See,
like,
and
but I love the heartwarming stories that you hear too, and they boosted those posts, of course.
oh, for sure.
Of like, I was able to get my dog's the surgery that he's been needing for months and save his life, or I was able to pay off medical
I saw
debt.
one about paying the medical bills for the family members.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome. And like you can only take people at their word. So who knows if they were just stories made to
I know that's the thing. It's just like,
further the narrative. But who can you believe? I mean, I don't know. Some of them felt really good to read. So maybe that was the point. Like, I don't know. People, at least now, and this is something that we talked about earlier, but like the cynical nature of things right now,
Yeah.
especially during like the Trump era, whatever, like people got so cynical and abjectly complacent, kind of.
Yeah.
And I would argue it was even before the Trump era. It's like Obama, Bush, all that crap, because people really didn't understand what was happening. They just knew there were systems of power that were doing stuff, and they were just the little guy. But
Right.
I think now people are just starting to see the wizard for what the wizard always was,
Well, you did
which
have you did have well, Occupy Wall Street was during Obama, right?
mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was right. I think it started in '07 and then went into '08, but I'm not sure. I'd have to
I
look that
think
up.
it was after the crash because that's why everybody did it because they were just so
Oh,
pissed
okay.
off, because Wall Street was the one that caused the crash. So I mean,
Well, I would argue, and see, this is where we'll probably disagree, but I would argue that it was a multitude of different things that caused that. So you have the government mandated loans and stuff, or a government subsidized, I should say, loan agencies handing out these insane, like loans with, no collateral, none of this stuff. And they're in there, like, was it Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae?
mm,
And they obviously, I mean, I would call that a pump and dump scheme, and then they got bailed out by the Fed. So it's like you have to draw the lines. Occupy, I think, died because there was no actual unifying factor to it. It
there
was
was
just sort of
yeah,
like this
there was like no
anomalous thing.
messenger. You know,
Yeah.
it was just like let's just go there, occupy, and just there was no
Mhm.
leader. There was no leader of the movement. It was just
Yep.
let's just all go. It's kind of like Wall Street bets. There's no leader. It's just a bunch of
Right.
dinguses coming together for a cause.
Bunch of words we can't use on YouTube because Susan will send you a strongly worded email.
Exactly.
But but I mean, something like that. I mean, that's kind of like the natural way. If people want to go to this park and just occupy it, whatever. I mean, it's their park technically.
Yeah.
I watched a really good video, and you might have seen this too. It was a long time ago, but there's Peter Schiff. He was an investment banker or
Mhm.
something. He has Euro Pacific Capital.
Yeah.
He went down there and he had a sign that said the 1%. Let's have a talk. Like, I can't imagine that happening today if Occupy Wall Street was going on today. I feel like that guy would have been assaulted. That guy would have been, publicly slandered as isms and ists and all sorts of other stuff.
Right.
But he was actually one of the financial advisors to Ron Paul. So
Oh,
it was a solid interview. So if you have time, I think it's like an hour and a half or something.
speaking of Ron Paul, so
Mm.
back in Ye Day, I like I said, I've gone back and forth, but it's mostly been like libertarian. So
Mhm.
my first experience with like a real outsider, because I was 19 when he was 19 or 20 when he was running for office when Obama won in 2008,
Yep.
and
2008. Yep.
yep, and I I actually got kicked out of a house party because I was, I was outside hanging out with my friends and there's a bunch of people there that I had no idea who they were, but I just started. I guess it's just in my nature. I just started just talking like, guys, this election means everything. You've got to vote for Ron Paul. He's an outsider. I'm so sick. I'm sitting here like 19, 20 years old, not knowing hardly anything about politics, but I'm sitting there and I'm just
Yeah, for sure.
and
That
I'm
was
just,
it was a lot of our case back then.
Yeah.
Because like that's your fundamental years.
but the thing
Like,
is, you're right. But the thing is, we have the financial crisis, and when you come out of high school and you have that hit at the same time, and it's just like, and you've already gone through 9/11, and
Yep.
it's just like so many things have happened just in my lifetime, that seems like it's just completely screwed, the middle and lower class, and it's just like, man, I don't know.
I would argue every American lost, because especially with the post 9/11 shit. I mean, the Patriot Act and all this other stuff. Like, I mean, financials aside, I mean, if you're just talking about social stuff, like social structures, like we have much limited freedom than we had before 9/11. And these agencies still exist today, but we're not calling them out like
Right.
for doing nothing.
right.
TSA, prime example.
But my thing is,
yeah, Ron Paul though, man. He was
yeah,
the guy.
Ron Paul was my dude. I would have taken him. I'm not gonna lie, I was happy that Obama won just because of the moment and the history of that. But a couple years in, and I'm just like, Okay, yeah. And
Yep.
he's another corporate guy. He's another elitist.
And the thing
Like,
about Obama, though, he was a careerist too, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to fault the guy because I think some of the stuff he said in that 2007 2008 campaign was, I won't say truthful, but I think he was sincere when he wanted to do things
mhm,
that he was proposing.
yeah.
Now, once you become a senator and all this other stuff, we could argue like senators are always fast tracked to certain positions before they're
Hmm.
even elected as the senator. Like these people are groomed basically to do
Hmm.
certain things and have favors for others um, after they're elected. But I mean, I can't argue. People were genuinely excited about this guy, and I was like, well, why aren't you excited about the guy who's a Republican also that is talking about getting out of war? He's talking about
Hmm.
reducing the deficit and reducing debt.
Hmm.
Like, and this is on the tails of the crisis, the housing and stuff. So I'm like, why aren't you as excited about this guy as you are about that guy? After this guy's a 13-year congressperson that
Because
never swayed, never took a lobby money, never did anything like that.
because people want the government to solve their problems. That's basically it. That's
Hmm.
basically it.
Yeah. Well, and they don't recognize that they have the power to solve a lot of their problems, even in a local way.
Well, that's
Like,
what gets me. It's like everybody puts so much energy into Congress and the president, presidential elections, and it's just like it starts local, man. You've got to start local.
yep.
It's bottom up. It always is, always should be. But
How often do these people that have like, what, 8 terms now in the Senate or whatever the hell the number is,
well, the thing is,
how many times do they visit
everybody's
their
got so much
constituents?
right. Everybody's got so much going on in their lives that they don't really have time to pay attention to anything other than like every 2 or 4 years, And it's just like I don't know.
I'd argue this year is like a completely different story because we had nothing but time, with all
True.
these lockdowns because of COOF and all this other stuff. Like, I
And
mean, and some people took advantage of that,
we
and
still end up
others didn't.
with Biden versus Trump. Like
Yeah,
like why?
yeah.
Why?
Talk about steam out of the sails, man. Talk about steam out of the sails. And I don't know. Like back in the day, Ron Paul, speaking of, and Bernie were very much together on a lot of
Oh,
different
dude,
issues, like
they work
anti-surveillance,
right. They work together
anti,
on a lot of the libertarian stuff. Like, you know,
yep,
just
yep.
not, Ron Paul's, fiscally conservative, obviously, and Bernie's like, let's spend all the money. And but where they came
He's
together,
Keynesian. It's Keynesian economics versus Austrian. But when they came together, it was like you were probably going to say. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it was about the real shit, like
yeah,
the actual rights of American citizens.
that and like the endless wars, like you said, and the beefing up military, which Ron Paul is actually probably more of he would prefer to cut other programs than the military. Probably he would just wanted to end the
Mhm.
wars because they were unnecessary.
He
So
wanted, well, yeah, because why would we have such massive federal budgets to the military if we're not
true,
at war? He was
right?
like, he always was like he quoted Eisenhower a lot when he was like the military industrial complex stuff. And he's like, why are we here? Is it just because we need a bigger budget? So in a way, I mean, if it was humanitarian or not, like I feel like that's where Bernie would have argued more from the emotional side of things, or like the plea to emotion. Whereas Ron Paul was just like, why are we wasting the money that we could be building bridges
Right.
like
Well,
at a domestic level?
but see, that's another thing where that gets me thinking. I'm just like, I mean, it depends on where you fall on the spectrum, I guess. But if you're gonna spend money, I sit here and I see a $63 billion increase in the defense budget.
Mm-hmm.
$60 billion would cover college tuition year
Yep.
on end. I
Yep.
mean, just the
So you know what they're going to do? They're
just
going to
the
ask for more to cover the college tuition.
right, just the increase in the military budget, even though we already,
Yep.
have, combined, like the next 10 countries combined makes up. They don't even touch our budget. Like it's ridiculous, but screw
Why did we
everybody else.
build a $1 billion why'd we build $1 billion embassy in Iraq? Why'd we do, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
money to the federal government doesn't even exist, in my opinion. I don't even think they don't even consider value when they propose these things. They just need to spend more than they spent the last year. So the budget increases pass and we don't go off the fiscal cliff. Like,
Mhm.
I hate that term. Fiscal cliff is just because you've overspent
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you've continually overspent.
Uh, what I hate is like it's always and what I hate when the I'm gonna talk about Republicans now. What I hate about the Republicans
Oh, yeah.
when it comes to like the debt and the deficit is that they always have an issue with it when there's a Democrat in office, but when there's a Republican in office, they don't care. Look at Trump.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Are you saying the people that call themselves conservative aren't actually conserving anything?
Right.
Oh, that's weird.
That's
I
kind of
would
weird.
never have guessed that.
The
Yeah,
only
it's a
thing they're
misnomer. It's
the only thing
strange.
that the only thing they're trying to conserve is I guess traditional what they see as traditional values, you know.
Which is completely, you know what I mean? Like the moral issues. We
Yeah.
have to move past them or else we can't solve society issues.
Right.
Like,
All right,
it's
let's go ahead.
nonstop.
Let's take a fiver there. Let's stop right there.
Cool.
Let's start thinking about that cuz
I'm getting heated.
yeah. Let's get into I want to get into the social stuff well, I've got stuff in my head that I want to get to, but yeah, let's go ahead. Take 5. I'm gonna throw up the little be right back thing, and we'll be right back. All right.
Peace.
Oh, whoa! What just happened? Oh, there we go. All right.
Look at me. I am the streamer now.
Right. I do have a full screen for you. Here we go. Oh yeah, he's full screen.
Get my good angles. I put wax in the beard.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I can hear myself.
Look at me. I am the streamer.
Oh, what the
Oh,
heck just happened? Hold on. Oh, you know why? Because I queued it up on YouTube. And it just auto played for whatever reason.
yeah. Why is nobody? Where's a mod when you need him? Oh wait, I didn't
Someone
hear-
get the mods in here. These guys are having, not a mod, but a mod.
Yeah. Where's a mod? All right, enough with the shenanigans. All right, so I kind of wanted to I said my goal. So for me personally, having these types of discussions is just to help me grow, as a not as a content creator, as like an individual, as my politics and the way that I think about things, and just learning everything. I change my mind so much that people would probably call me a flip flopper, but it's just I can't stick. There's some things that I do stick to. Like I'm just absolutely like anti-Patriot Act. Legalize, decriminalize every
principles
drug.
are yours, and you can always get more. Yeah.
Right. So
Principles are yours, and you define them as you see fit. And if you're in the pursuit of knowledge, that's always a good thing.
yeah. So thanks for stroking my ego there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Internet connection is unstable. Oh, great. Oh, wait. What happened? Are you there? Okay. There we go.
I'll charge you a nominal fee.
You better not. That's some capitalist crap right there, man. Oh, great. Freeze frame the ultra.
I'm still here. Hopefully, I'm not. I don't have the YouTube up though.
Why is this happening right now? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, anyway. All right. We're not going to have the abortion talk. That's just not going to happen. It's just not. I don't care. All right. We're going to go to some recent events. You cool with that?
It's the feds. They're onto our casual conversation.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's CIA. CIA has infiltrated my stream. My 18 subscribers. They're like, I don't.
You're breaking up, man. I can't hear you.
Oh, really? Why? What happened? What just happened? You can't hear me at all?
Yeah, the delay is getting to be like 15 seconds as well.
Oh my god. Why? Your stream.
I can hear you, but it's very, very digitized.
What? Nothing's. I haven't changed anything. Say something. Okay, so on stream it sounds good. Like it sounds great. So I don't know, man. This is really bumming me out.
Test.
Oh,
We're not talking about abortion.
Yeah, right. I can hear you.
Cool.
Like that's fine. But can you hear me? No?
Weird. Yeah, it's very digitized, but if the audio is good on the actual stream, then we can continue. I'll just, if I don't hear something correctly, it might just be a minute.
Well,
until I
it's
can,
just
ask again.
How about this? Why don't we Zoom call? This is cool. All right, so we just ended that that call, so I'm gonna try and do this again. Sorry for the issues. Just bear with me, folks. You know what? I'll be right back.